So is it delayed?
20 seconds.
So that means if I swear you can go back and edit it out?
I don't have a drop button.
Joking.
Don't have a drop button.
Unless I'm directed by the clients.
Right, stop. Yeah.
Hey, how are you? Hi. Hello, how are you? Good, thank you. She's watching this today on live stream. Oh, I just did that before. I have no idea. I don't know. Really outside the corner.
John was going to send it to Liz too. She would live. Kathy down in the morning. Yeah, that's it.
And a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the service for Margaret this morning. If you'd just like to make your way into the seated area and also along this top part here, if you can't see very well from the back there, we'll be starting in a couple of minutes' time. Thank you so much.
I was going to say, are you still living in Terry? Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Just before we start, a quick reminder to please turn your mobile phones to silent or preferably to off. Thank you.
To be free, I am flying.
Family, friends and loved ones, good morning and welcome to Point Clare Cemetery. On behalf of Barry, Donna and Jason and all family members and loved ones, we extend a very warm welcome to each and every one of you, and we thank you for coming here today, especially those who have travelled near and far distant places, and all those watching on live streaming who now join us, offering your love and ongoing support at this very challenging time. My name is Maureen and I'm honoured to be your celebrant. Before this celebration of life and love begins, the family would like to invite and acknowledge family members and loved ones who cannot be present here today, and they will be represented by the lighting of a candle. I now invite Barry, if you'd like to come forward and light the candle. Thanks, Barry. This candle also represents the legacy that Margaret has gifted us. Her children, Barry, Vicky and Donna, and her grandchildren, Stephen, Belinda, Davison, Rachel, Alison, Sally, Michael, Jared, Kate, Jessica, Joel, Regan, Kyle and Dane, and the great-grandchildren, Gabby, Amy, Russell, Harrison, Jack, Gracie, Melissa, Archer, Lexi, Koa, Sean, Amelia, and Sophia. The light from this candle is a beacon that will guide and protect us. When it is shared, the light never diminishes and always warms us with love. As you are all aware, a vibrant lady has left us, and we gather here today in a common bond of love, to comfort and support each other, to shed some tears, to smile, to remember special times shared, and as we respectfully celebrate and honour the life of a very much loved, warm, highly organised, compassionate, selfless, caring lady with a big heart of gold who has now been lost to us. And the one-of-a-kind, lovable Lady Larrikin I speak of is Margaret Vera Barlow, warmly known as Mum, Margie, Grandma and Great-Grandma, depending on where she sits in your heart. You know, sometimes people come into our lives and before we realise it, they have made an impression, a memory or a mark in our hearts and in our minds just simply by being who they are. They radiate a natural, cheeky, mischievous charm, welcoming us with truth, warmth and fun, and who care for us with genuine interest. Margaret was definitely that person, and that was why she was loved, liked and cared for by so many. And whilst we think of Margaret, Mum and Grandma's passing with many mixed and perhaps raw emotions, we should recall her life with love, family fun times, purpose and much happiness. Margaret loved life, and life just loved her right back. And she did indeed live her life to the fullest. Family was important to Margaret. Her life was defined by the people that she loved. And she knew more than anyone that love makes good people. And to put it very simply, Mum, Nana and Margaret lived for those she loved. She had great pleasure being the matriarch of her family, and she was very proud of all of her family's achievements, and understandably too. She certainly was, and undeniably, a social butterfly. She just loved people and was everyone's Aussie mate. Her hair, always perfectly coiffed, lipstick applied, Margie had her own glamorous style. She also had many creative talents. She could knit, crochet, she was a great baker and home-style cook. Margie had her own way of doing things. She was always unique and original. Margie just fell off. She was very house-proud. Her home wasn't a castle. It was immaculate, where there was a place for everything and everything had its place. Margie did indulge in the odd tipple of beer or wine. She liked to flutter on the ponies and she loved to swear. Margie had an extreme wicked sense of humour, and rumour has it that she often told dirty yarns, and we can certainly forgive her for that today. She was a lady who did love to party. Margaret was the most wonderful giver of fun, laughter and warmth. Margie also knew that to have good friends, then you needed to be a good loyal friend, for friendship is a priceless gift. And she lived by those words and formed many lifelong and enduring loving friendships in her lifetime, especially within her village. She was also one of the wisest, the bravest and the best who enjoyed what she loved. So let us remember Margaret, Mum and Grandma lovingly here today as we fill our hearts with love and remember her well for her love for life and all the many qualities that made her a loving, cheerful, organised, original, fun, big-hearted social butterfly and a one-of-a-kind beautiful lady who had a well-lived life and a fabulous life very much loved. And now we come to the heart of the service as I invite Sally, her beautiful granddaughter. She's coming up and she's going to share some wonderful memories with us.
You all right? Okay. Yeah, she's watching you all. All right, we'll give this a go. Good morning, everyone. As you know, I'm Sal. I'm number 8 out of the grandchildren. And I'll be telling you a little bit about our grandma's life and the incredible impact that she has had on many of us here today. I'm going to keep it pretty PG rated, but I'm looking forward to hearing the more real Margie stories back at the surf club later today. Our grandma was quite a unique character. There was never a dull moment with her around. We would all agree that she was the real life of the party. She was quick-witted, had a hilarious sense of humour, and accompanied with an adventurous spirit. Our grandma was a strong and independent woman that didn't take no shit from nobody. She was hard-working and very grateful for what she had. Grandma never measured her life in materialistic things, but rather love, family, experiences, and memories. She lived her life exactly the way she wanted to. Grandma was about as fair dinkum as an Aussie can get, but surprisingly, she was also a true royalist. It was quite hard to believe that someone who would love to say things like, mate, or she'll be right, could also put on her best Pommy accent and say, oh yes, darling, I am a true royalist. I even met the Queen when I was young. And just as much as she did love the royal family, she loved her actual family a billion times more. Our grandma was the matriarch of our entire family. We learnt quickly from a young age to always greet grandma first out of any relatives, to always say please and thank you, to eat with our elbows off the table and always ask to be excused, to sit quietly while adults enjoyed themselves and only bother them at a party if it was an absolute emergency. Grandma taught us to be honest and that if we told lies, then black dots would appear on our tongues and then she would know. She also washed a few of our mouths out with soap too when it was needed. Grandma was hard when she needed to be, but these important life lessons have made us all the people we are today. And we will all uphold Grandma's morals and values throughout our lives and into the generations to come. It is so funny to think that someone who upheld such strong traditional values also defined all traditional female stereotypes of her era. While other women her age were at home keeping the house tidy and ensuring the children were well groomed, our grandma was pouring beers for the local patrons and of course herself down at the Ocean Beach Hotel. She would be out fagging with the blokes and then kicking those same blokes out of the pub later that night. Our grandma was a larrikin and one of a kind. The best thing I love about her, though, is that through her entire life, she has stuck true to herself and her character. As Grandma's grandchildren, she had an incredible way of making you feel like you were the favourite grandchild all the time. Over the many years, she spent a lot of time with us all individually and together. I think we all thought we were Grandma's favourite at some point in our lives. I know that we would all ask her, Grandma, am I the favourite? Which she would always respond with, yes, love, of course you are. Deep down, though, we all knew that this was rubbish and that bloody Stephen was actually the favourite. In the last couple of months, Grandma was getting a little forgetful, and one night when I went to leave the hospital, she called me back to her room. When I got back in there and asked if she was okay, she said, shit, I've forgotten. I said to her, will you just call me back to tell me that I am actually the favourite? Which, of course, she said, yes, love, that was it. And we shared a good giggle. But that was Grandma. As hard as she may have come across at different times over the years, she was actually just a big softie at heart who loved us all unconditionally. Growing up as kids, we all have so many different memories of our time with Grandma. Typical memories that we all share, though, are mostly from when she lived out in Yarramalong. Grandma moved out to Whoop Whoop, also known as Yarramalong, and got an awesome in-ground pool put in. In true Margie style, she also had a bar in the pool area, which all our parents thoroughly enjoyed. Us grandkids can all remember learning to swim in Grandma's pool. I'll never forget the sign that she had hanging on the pool fence. It said, welcome to my all. Notice there is no P in it. Let's keep it that way. What a great sign. We're still not sure how effective it was, though. Going back through all Grandma's photo albums over the last week with my mum, I noticed common themes: parties, family, and travelling. In all the photos we looked through, she always had a big cheeky smile on her face and was surrounded by lots of friends and family. She would have a drink in one hand, a smoke in the other, and a great tan. I think her cozies became her first choice outfit, especially when off camping or travelling around Australia. What a life. When she wasn't camping or caravanning, then she was hosting family get-togethers. Many of these firstly occurred out at Yarramalong, and then they continued on when she moved back to the peninsula into Inkerman Avenue. Here, us grandkids were always guaranteed an unlimited supply of pink mustics. It was one of the great things about going to Grandma's. It's been amazing to watch this pink mustic tradition continue on to the great-grandchildren. They too will always remember their great-grandma and her endless supply of lollies. Now my mum gets to continue this on. But the get-togethers didn't stop there. When she moved into Corinda Village, my mum and sister have taken over hosting the big family do's. But you can always be guaranteed a mustic when you walk in the doors of Grandma's little unit in Neptune. She loved that unit and was lucky enough to meet some nice new friends there who she could enjoy a Friday wine with. This was definitely one of the highlights of her week for Grandma. When I would visit Grandma in hospital, over the last couple months, she would continually tell me how lucky she was and what a wonderful family she had. One night she said to me, "They are incredible. They are the best." I must have done something right, even after all the floggings. I just cracked up. Typical Grandma, getting all soppy on me and then bang, cracking a joke and making me laugh. But she was right. She was lucky. We do have the best family, and let's face it, all of us kids deserve those few floggings over the years, and we can thank her now for them. While Grandma is certainly responsible for our incredible family, she always made sure that we knew exactly where we came from, which is the Cable family. Grandma is so proud of our ancestry, and I'm also thankful that she took the time to sit down with me over the years and tell me all about it. One of my most treasured memories I made while living in the UK was travelling to Norwich, where I visited the very jail that our ancestors, Henry Cable and Susanna Holmes, were held in before they came out to Australia on the First Fleet. I took loads of photos for Grandma and sent them all back to her. I know that she really appreciated that I did that, and I'm so glad that I can now continue to carry on our proud family history to my nieces, nephews, and one day my own children. Grandma has taught us all so much over the years and has had a huge impact in shaping the people we are today. She has taught us to always be thankful for what we have, to always be kind, to always respect your elders, to be honest and genuine, to work hard and play harder, to always make the time for your family and show them how much you love them, to enjoy the simple things in life and never take yourself too seriously. I'm so proud of Grandma's life and all the things she's experienced. I'm proud of the strength she showed right up until the end. Even in pain, you couldn't stop Grandma's sense of humour. She lit up a room with her jokes and laughter and continued to bring joy to those around her for as long as she could. The nursing staff in Wee Wee Hospital were so good to her and loved having her around. She's a character, isn't she? They would say when I visited. We're so grateful for the incredible care that they showed her. Throughout my visits to Grandma in hospital, she would ask me to make sure I took care of my mum, which I always reassured her that of course we would. The night before Grandma passed, I went in and seen her. When I left, I gave her a big kiss on the cheek. I told her that I loved her, and I said, "Don't worry, Grandma, we'll take good care of Mum." Grandma passed early the next morning. The level of care my mum has shown Grandma over the many years has been admirable, but the strength my mum has shown over the last couple of months has been nothing short of amazing. It is easy to see where my mum gets her strength from. Mum, thank you. Thank you for everything that you have done for Grandma. You ensured that she lived her fullest and happiest life every single day. I'm going to end now with a quote written by Hunter S. Thompson that I think wraps up Grandma's life pretty well. Life should not be a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but rather to skid in broadside in a cloud of smoke, thoroughly used up, totally worn out, and loudly proclaiming, "Wow, what a ride." Well, Grandma, it's sure been one hell of a ride. Thank you for showing us all how it's done. We love you, we miss you, and we all look forward to seeing you again one day. Thank you, Grandma.
Thanks so much, Sally. You know, it takes a very brave heart to get up here when your heart's aching, so you've done such a beautiful job. And now I invite Kate. Kate's coming up and she's going to read us a special poem.
Ugh.
To my dearest darling grandma, up in heaven high above, I know today you'll be with us all, sending all your love. Today we remember you as we say our last goodbye. We celebrate the life you had, and perhaps we will have a cry. You will never be forgotten, Grandma, and I will just close my eyes and see your smiling face and feel your love, and you will be close to me. You have had such a long life, and so many have much less. It was your time that angels came and placed you with the best. So, dearest Grandma, up above, although you no longer... Sorry. Although you are no longer here, in my heart is where I will keep you. Forever you will be here.
Well done, Kate. Beautifully read. And you know, don't be frightened to shed some tears. It's just an expression of how much we really love someone. So we've all heard some wonderful, truthful, moving and honouring words about beautiful Margaret, Margie and Grandma. And now we have the opportunity to remember and reflect upon all of her wonderful qualities as we listen to one of her favourite songs by Elton John, and it is Your Song.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. If I was a sculptor, but then again, no, or a man who makes potions in a traveling show. I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you. Tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in the words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. Quite cross, but the sun's been quite kind. while you're in the world. I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in the words how wonderful life is while you're in the world.
On behalf of Barry and Donna, they would like to thank everyone here and those online for taking time out of your day to share in this celebration of a fabulous life. We all understand it's difficult to talk about all aspects of Margie's interesting, amazing and colourful life in this very short amount of time, and the family know and appreciate this. So they warmly invite everyone to join them at the Yamina Surf Club for Margaret's after party and her last shout. So please know you'll have the opportunity there to share your stories and share your memories about Grandma, Mum and Margie in a more relaxed atmosphere. And the family really look forward to hearing all your tales. Everyone added to the quality of Margaret's life, and know that you are all the caretakers of her spirit. For you carry the memories of her laughter, her history, her truth, her light, her stories, her fabulous personality, and the love she had for her family and her friends, which is the greatest legacy of her life. And Margaret knew that you all loved her too. And as I said before, it's natural for all of us to shed tears. However, I feel that Margaret and Grandma would appreciate our smiles and our love more than anything. And now we come to the formal part of the service, where it is time for us to say farewell, thank you, and goodbye to Mum, Grandma, Great-Grandma, and Margie. And I share the Celtic blessing. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. So today, Margaret, we thank you for your loving and your caring ways. We thank you for being interested, and we thank you for being so interesting. We thank you for inviting all of us on this very special journey called life. We thank you for the lessons you have taught us. You taught us to stand up for what we believe in. You taught us to have fun. You have taught us that your love has made us better people, and for all that we thank you. Most importantly, you would want us to remember that you are not always perfect. You would want us to remember that life is full of challenges, but above all, you would want us to remember that you loved us. And the world has been a better, more fun, spirited, and brighter place for having known you. Friends, family and loved ones, if you are able, I kindly invite you to all be upstanding. Tenderly and reverently, we commit Margaret, Mum, Grandma and Great-Grandma's soul to be released and her physical body to be returned to Mother Earth. Your beautiful spirit is now freed from the challenges of earthly living. Margaret, all your earthly duties are now complete, so leave now without effort, without worry, and with no regrets. We find great comfort knowing that you will be reunited with all your loved ones who have gone before you, and Snowy is safely tucked away beside you. You have our permission and our blessing to leave. Find peace within your beautiful heart as you journey home. Rest now in gentle peace. And as a final tribute to Margaret, Grandma and Mum, I invite family members and loved ones, if you are willing, to come forward and sprinkle some rose petals, and it's your time to say your gentle and personal goodbyes as we listen to another one of Margaret's favourite songs, And it is called My Way by Frank Sinatra because we all know Margaret always did everything her way.
And not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and did it my way. Yes, it was my way.
I now invite all the grandchildren and Archer, if you would like to come forward and as a team blow out the candle of remembrance. Thanks, Archer. Certainly didn't beat around the bush there. Well done. So thank you, everyone. That now concludes the graveside service for Margaret. Please go in peace and remember, goodbyes are not forever. Goodbyes are not the end. They simply mean we will miss you until we meet again. Go in peace.
Thank you, Maureen.
You're welcome.